Hello, everyone. Welcome to our midweek update. We are glad that you are here today, and we're a little bit late, I know, getting this episode going, but we are glad you're here. And we're going to update you on what's happening here at State Street Community Church and the Pax Center and the gardens and green space and the preschool, all the stuff that we do here on a weekly basis. Give you some updates and have a little fun doing it. It is December 10th. I hope you are staying warm and healthy. So far, none of our staff has had COVID yet, and we're hoping to keep it that way. So wear your masks, stay healthy, be responsible, love your neighbors well. I want to welcome in my friend and co-pastor here at State Street Community Church, Miss Rebecca Crain. Hello, Rebecca.
I'm on the other side now. I'm on a different side. That's fun.
Yeah, no, you're leading things now.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, no, it's part of the thing. It's part of the whole experience. Me taking a back seat to your leadership.
It's about time.
That's quite a true statement. Anyway, so how was your week?
I second your remark that I don't want any of us to get COVID either. Wear your mask. So I don't want to get it.
We've been lucky so far, honestly,
Yeah.
to not get it, and so I hope that we continue to not get it, honestly. And
Me too. I second that hope.
How was your week?
Not the greatest, actually.
Why is that?
I was sick yesterday. Not the COVID. The vertigo, which is the worst thing you can ever. I shouldn't say that. It's not the worst thing you can ever have, but it's sure not fun. It is not fun.
What is vertigo?
It's so I got it last summer. First time I've ever experienced it, and I bent over to do something, and my whole world like flipped upside down. Like it's like you're on a roller coaster, but you're standing still, and it makes you incredibly nauseous. And so I went to the doctor because I thought, is it a tumor? You just don't know.
Did you do the Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Is it a tumor? It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. But they said it's benign. It's called like benign positional something, which has to do with like tiny little crystals in your ears. And if they get off just a little bit, if they like get out of position, it tells your brain that you're moving when you're really not moving. So you're standing still, but your brain tells you you're moving all over the place.
So is that like chakras?
I don't know about that. I know when I first read about it, I'm like, is that for real? Like, really? There's little tiny, but it's like an inner ear, like, I don't know. There's exercises you can do. I tried to do them yesterday morning when I woke up with it, and I couldn't. It was going to make me violently ill. So I just had to let it I just sit in the right position and let it pass. And now I've started doing some of the exercises to try to make it better. I feel much better today. Still a little lightheaded, but much better than yesterday.
Yeah, we missed you at the food pantry. We had a good day, and my buddy on this and Pichardo joined us. So
oh, dude, I missed Nelson. I forgot. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I would have not been any good. I wouldn't have been any fun. I probably would have ended up on the floor.
We have let's get to our birthdays and anniversaries. We only have a couple, and because apparently not a lot of people, are busy in the bed 9 months before here. Anyway, we only have a couple birthdays, and we're gonna get to them real quick here. Happy birthday to Laura Hernandez Myers. We are glad that you are born. We hope you have a good week, even though it's COVID-19, even though there's all kinds of reasons you can find to not enjoy this week. We do hope you carve out some time to focus on yourself and to have a good week. Also, Alyssa Lingle, our graphic designer.
Happy birthday. We missed you, Alyssa.
Yeah, I really miss Liz. Yeah, I really miss having her here. But
I miss the baby.
Yeah, but they'll be back. We haven't lost them forever. They'll be back. Ryan got a job in LaPorte, so. All right, it's time for the question. That's all we have, by the way. That's all the birthdays and anniversaries we have.
I know,
not a lot,
crazy.
Not a lot. So now is the time for the question of the week. And if you're playing along, whether you're streaming with us on the Facebooks or the YouTubes or the Periscopes and the Twitters, wherever you're streaming from, we want to hear from you. what are like you? I want you to answer these questions, and maybe you don't have 3 picks, maybe you just have 1. But I want to know, what are
That's
your 3
funny.
favorite songs, Christmas songs, and what are the 3 worst Christmas songs? I had more. Like, I could probably do and I love Christmas, but I could probably name you a lot of my least favorite songs.
Oh, I couldn't.
I had a lot.
I
But
know your least favorite one. I already know that, so I won't steal it.
yeah, that's okay. And what we'll do is, if you want to put them in the comments section, I would love to read them. What are your least favorite? Maybe you just have one. This question was inspired from Joe Ruiz,
I saw
who,
that.
yeah, wrote on his Facebook about the Little Drummer Boy being the worst of all Christmas songs, which is the silliest of all things to say.
Did
I
he
mean,
not hear us do it Sunday?
I have, yeah, and that
We
I
did it
think no, I
Sunday.
think he. Here's the thing: is I think Joe did hear you say it on or play it on Sunday, and I think it was personal. But anyway,
Thanks, Joe.
I think it's a fine song. There's nothing wrong with A Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah.
It's not even close to. And I've got things wrong with lots of Christmas songs.
It
Not
makes me
even all.
smile. I said I can't sing "Pa-rum Pa-Pa-Pum" without smiling. So
Yep.
that's not a
And
bad
so
thing.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna go one by one. And again, I want you guys to put yours in the comments if you're watching, even if you're not watching live, put it in the comments. We're gonna go one by one, and let's start with the best songs, okay? And then we'll work to the worst songs. All
Okay.
right. So you go with one of your best songs, and then I'll go with one of mine.
I opted for a different take on answering this question because choosing like a couple of favorite songs is way too hard. So I'm going with groupings. Okay.
I like rock Christmas songs, or like country
Well,
Christmas,
no,
or like,
okay. Okay, so first of all, I won't say one, but when I think of Christmas songs, the songs that scream Christmas is the classics. I love to listen to the classics. So I'm talking like Perry Como, Johnny Mathis, Bing Crosby. You put any of those, you put those sultry voices on singing old Christmas,
yeah,
old Christmas songs, and I love it. Any song they sing, you know, uh, any song they sing. Bing Crosby can sing anything, and I'm gonna love it. So I'm not gonna name a song, but I'm just gonna say that those,
But
all
I
of them.
didn't say like one of your favorite artists. I didn't. That was not the
But I can't
question.
pick one. The album, okay?
This is an F. I don't know if you can see it. It's an F.
Dreaming
You failed.
of a white Christmas. I mean, Bing Crosby with the
No. I'm very familiar with Bing
dreaming.
Crosby, but Bing Crosby
I
isn't a
love it.
song. All right.
I love it.
All right. I'll let you go with that, though. You didn't play by the rules. I will actually
I
play
didn't.
the game by the rules. One of the best songs for Christmas time is Vince Giraldi's "Christmas Time Is Here." One
The
of
whole
my
album.
absolute favorites. Nate's favorite song probably is that. And here's a fun thing: is my daughter is learning the piano, and she's learning that song, so she plays it quite a bit when in the living room, and I'm loving every second of it. So
Yeah.
I will actually play the game right and pick a song. So you go next. I don't know what you're gonna pick. If it's an artist, you'll probably pick like a concert you went to and be like, this isn't really the.
I will have to say, I'm right there with you with Vince Guaraldi. I love that whole album. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite albums across the board anyway. It's just so good. So I'm with you there. But I have to pick the whole album.
All right.
So I would say if I'm looking at hymns, because that's a whole other genre,
Okay.
I have two. So do you want me to say them both?
Is this going to be your? Yeah, you can say them both, but is this going to be like your next 2 picks?
Yeah.
Okay, say one.
My 2 favorite Christmas hymns are "O Holy Night" and "What Child Is This?" Those are probably my 2 favorites.
Good songs, love them, and I'm going to come back to the "O Holy Night" because I'm going to use that later. But good picks. I love those, and we usually try to do those at least once a year here during Advent, and I always love when we do.
We're doing a Holy Night Sunday.
Okay, so
spoiler alert.
Tune in Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, live.statestreet.tv, and we'd love to have you with us online. All right. My second favorite Christmas song is Rosie Thomas's "Why Can't It Be Christmas Time All Year?" Love it. It's fun. It's good. And I often think the same thing. Why can't it be Christmas time all year? I love Christmas. And I like original Christmas songs. Like I feel like we need to have we need to appreciate those who are writing their own Christmas songs. It's easy to take a song that, somebody's already sang and written 50 years ago that everyone already loves and just redo it. Like that Michael Bublé. We know you're stealing Harry Connick's thunder. We know that. But and you're selling lots of albums. But it's not the best thing. And since you already went with your second one, I'll go with my third favorite then. It's a song, and I picked this more. It is one of my favorites, but it's my wife's absolute favorite, and so I like what she likes as well. I'm going to go with "River" by Joni Mitchell. I just love that song. Great song, but it's my wife's favorite song, Christmas time. So those are my three favorites. I want to hear from you. I hear from. Amy Warner says, Amy Warner says,
that's good.
Feliz Navidad is the worst. And the Christmas song by Nat King Cole is her favorite. Beth Bell says, I cannot stand Santa Baby. Not one of my favorites either.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to our worst songs. And I guess I'll start because
we all know what your worst one is because you go on and on about it every year.
Nope. I'm going to surprise you here, Rebecca Crain. Okay.
But I already saw you answer this on Facebook. You're changing your answer now?
Well, it is true. But I'm going to give you a video that I think you're going to love. Okay. Here we go. Listeners, watchers, those of you out in radio, TV, podcast land, enjoy this.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pine, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoicing, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, die.
All right, that's about all I can handle. That was not me. Did you say we're singing "Oh Holy Night" on Sunday?
We are singing "Oh Holy Night" on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, so that might be what we sing on Sunday. So, what a terrible rendition of "Oh Holy Night." And but it is not one of my least favorite renditions or least favorite songs. Okay, so let's get into our three least favorite Christmas songs. I'll let you go first, Rebecca. What is your least favorite Christmas song?
Okay, I went with the Chipmunk song. I find that incredibly annoying.
Just the Christmas time is here, that one.
Yeah, but it's all the chipmunk voices, and yeah, and it's so, I don't know. I find it annoying.
My pick will be something that anybody familiar with me knows. I hate this song with all of my heart. This is my number one least favorite song, not just of Christmas, of all time. New songs, The Christmas Shoes, awful. It's just a pull on your heartstrings song, but it's just so silly. Like it's not even like it's every bad pastor illustration to get the congregation to cry that I've ever heard. So I don't love it. So you go next.
How many times we going?
Well, I got 3 of them. How many times do you have?
Okay. No, that's fine. I can do that. Okay, the next one I'm picking is Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Okay, yeah, that's not a great one. The next one I have is The Dogs Barking Jingle Bells. I don't know why that's a thing. Have you heard that song? Why is that? Who made that a thing? And why are we accepting this as a song?
I'm surprised you don't like that with your dog.
No, here's the thing: is I love dogs more than anything. I love dogs so much, but that's not a song. That's just the dumbest thing in the world.
It's pretty dumb.
So The Dogs Barking Jingle Bells is number 2 for me. All right, number 3. What do you got?
Okay, this is kind of a cheating a little bit, but not a lot. Okay, my third pick is, this isn't always the case, but I'm going to say the third verse of all Christmas hymns. Because the third verse, there's always like these verses we know, and then you get to this third verse that's like so weird, it doesn't make any sense. That's like, what? What is that? What are those words? And nobody knows how to sing them.
There's usually some really weird word in there too that you're like, I'm not sure if this is how you pronounce it. It often gets very like eschatological too, where it's like about the ages to come, and you're like, okay, all of a sudden we went from manger to restoration of the world.
And real quick, a few years back, we were singing some of these songs, and one of the verses it said was the words, "He did not hate the virgin's womb." And as we were singing it, we were over at another church. Kristen Schwartz was standing next to me, and we both.
Oh, this is Lessons and Carols, right?
Yeah, we both started giggling like children. I mean, it was like I was a child back in high school where somebody said something stupid, and I was trying not to laugh. And the more you try not to laugh, the more you just laugh even more. And I'm like, in this somber Christmas service, and I just, it was too much. I just couldn't do it.
What's the line again?
He did not hate the virgin's womb, or something like that.
Very true, though. Very, very true. He did not.
He didn't hate the virgin's womb.
All right. Finally, my least favorite. And again, if you have a least favorite song, we'd love to hear from you, or most favorite Christmas song. My least favorite, thirdly, is Dominique the Christmas Donkey. I just don't love that one. And if you do, I'm sorry. I just don't love it. It's not my favorite.
We're doing that Sunday.
All right, let's move on. That was our question of the week. If you have an answer to that, we'd love to hear from you. But let's move on. Excuse me. Let's move on to volunteer appreciation. Rebecca Crain, who do you have for volunteer appreciation?
This week for volunteer appreciation, I want to recognize Sean Cribbs, who is not only a good friend of mine, but she's volunteers at the Pax Center, and she volunteers on our tech team, and she's actually filling in this weekend for a spot I need to fill. And I texted her last night to see if she was willing to do that, and without hesitation, she said, absolutely, I'll be there. And she'll even sometimes fill in spots where she's not the most comfortable, but if she knows there's a need, she's happy to step in and do it. And she just always comes at it with just a heart that wants to serve well. And she's a good volunteer. I appreciate her.
Yep, I do as well. I'm going to point out Mike Warner, who came in and got us a new monitor set up behind by the cameras this week. On Sunday, he wanted to have it done. He didn't. He came in after church on Sunday when he was by himself here and got it done. And I just appreciate when our people come in afterwards and on their own time and get stuff done like that. That means a lot to me. So thanks so much for that, Mike, and all that you do here. All right, last Sunday we talked. It was the second week of Advent. And we're kind of following the lectionary here, and in the lectionary in the second week of Advent was kind of the foretelling of John the Baptist and things like that. And we talked a little bit about this idea of wilderness, and wilderness being a time of transition in the scriptures. That God sends people into the wilderness, or they end up finding themselves into wilderness. And it's something like this in-between time, spiritually, but also, trying to transition in their life to, they're not where they were, but they're going somewhere else. And that we similarly find ourselves in these transition times here. And I think most of us are in some kind of transition time in our life right now with COVID-19, trying to make sense of it, friendships and, trying to, keep track of people, even though we don't see them like we used to, trying to love people really well. And so we talked just about what to do. And one of the things I think we have to do when we're going through wilderness is being honest with ourselves and admit it, that this is a season of change and transition, maybe even in what you believe to be true, or what you want to practice to be true. And that we don't, want to be hypocrites in our faith to not extend the grace and the mercy and the permission for others to also be in a wilderness stage of life. And so, it's important for all of us as we go through this Advent season, and, as we reflect on the coming of Christ and Christmas, these kind of things, that we remind ourselves that we are in this ever present and long-standing battle against our own ego about what we want and about where we ought to, go and what we should do. And if this COVID-19 season has taught us anything, is we are rugged individuals and we want what we want and when we want it and things like that. And sometimes you just don't get that. And sometimes what you want is going to conflict with what other people need. Just like, wearing a mask sometimes is not what I want to do, but it's what other people need me to do. And so I do those things, not because it's for necessarily me, though it is good for me, but it's also for the sake of others. And so, again, just trying to be in this ever-present, focused battle against our own ego, and that Christ is with us in that moment, and that in order to follow Christ well, and in order to embody the ways of Jesus, the ways of love and forgiveness and kindness and compassion and mercy, we have to fight against our own will sometimes, and we have to fight against our own ego to get there. So that's what we talked about last Sunday. Anything to add to that, Pastor Becky?
Nope. You said it. You summed it up. Good job. I agree.
Thank you. This Sunday, we'll be in Isaiah 61. So if you want to join us here at State Street Community Church, we are online right now as the numbers continue to go higher. Not because our people typically wore masks and we were safe as we could be. But this was more of a statement to our neighbors and our healthcare workers and our frontline workers to say, we will do what we can, even though it inconveniences us, to love you and to help your situation out. And so we are just meeting online right now at 10 o'clock. And I hope you join us 10 o'clock every Sunday, live.statestreet.tv, or just join us on Facebook. And we'd love to have you until we can meet again, hopefully sooner rather than later. And then this coming third week of Advent will be in Isaiah 61. All right, things happening this week. State Street, we are working on some Christmas Eve stuff that we're going to be delivering to people. I'm really excited about this. I won't announce too much of it, but all of our families are going to get something from us for Christmas Eve, because we will be quarantined for Christmas. But we want you to still have a Christmas Eve experience at home and these kind of things. So we're working on all those things. And we'll hopefully get all that out the week before Christmas. It'd be really stupid for us to get it out after Christmas Eve. But we're working on that right now. The Pax Center, just to let you know, we do have a Christmas Day dinner or lunch rather, that the Mann family is hosting. So if you don't have a place to go for Christmas Day, we'd love to have you at the Pax Center that day. We'll put all the information out on Facebook for that. It will be a to-go meal. It's not a gathering, but again, if you don't have a Christmas dinner, or if you'd like to, just say hi to some people, it'd be a way to do that safely. Our gardens and green spaces are closed right now. We're continuing to make plans for the spring for them, and our preschool continues on the way it goes. Miss Kathy's doing a great job, and Miss Danita, keeping kids safe. We've got all of our protocols going well there. We're not seeing spread or anything like that. So our last section is our kind of our show and tell section. Share something with the group. Pastor Becky, what do you have to share with people this week?
I started a new book on Audible this week. It's Malcolm Gladwell. You read any of his stuff?
I've read some of his stuff, but I'm not. There are like avid Malcolm Gladwell like fans.
I've never read any of his stuff. This is my
Yeah,
first.
like, and he has a podcast too, and like so. I feel odd saying that I am a fan when I'm not like to the level of some Malcolm Gladwell,
Right.
So.
Well, I'm listening to his book, Talking to Strangers, and it's very interesting. Like I'm not all the way through yet, and it's an audio book, so he's reading it, but he actually brings in people that have interviewed, like they come and they read their parts, or it's like taken from news or different things that have been recorded, and they include that in the books. And it's really about just the way that we communicate with each other and how easy it is to miscommunicate. Like we get used to certain cues, and sometimes, and like when our cues and the reality match up, we're communicating really well. But oftentimes the cues that we're giving don't match the reality, and that's when we don't communicate well. And oftentimes what we think about a person might not actually be true, because we're just not, we don't understand the way they communicate. And it's just interesting. I don't know. I think it's a good lesson so far. And it's people are hard, and sometimes what we think we know based on our own experiences, based on what we've decided is socially, appropriate or whatever, may not be the whole story.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's the name of that again?
It's called Talking to Strangers.
Okay, great. I am reading. I'm doing a lot of focused reading on just Advent and stuff like that. And one of the books I'm reading right now is by a guy named Walter Brueggemann. If you know me, you know I love Walter Brueggemann. But he has a kind of a devotional book for Advent called Celebrating Abundance. And I'll read a little section here that I liked. He says, in Advent, however, we receive the power of God that lies beyond us. This power is the antidote to our fatigue and cynicism. It is a gospel resolution to our spent self-sufficiency when we are at our edge of our coping. It is the good news that will overmatch our cynicism, that imagines there is no new thing that can enter our world. And I love this idea, and it's been kind of living within me, to allow this season of wonder and this season of light and darkness, this season of new birth, to birth some new optimism in me, and to allow it to engage my ever-growing cynicism that has, I think, grown to a monster size in 2020. And so I'm really trying to, doing some kind of soul care on that, to focus on a little bit of where my cynicism lies and why it exists, and how to give that part of my life and that vulnerability over to God a little bit more. And so I hope similarly with you and with all of our listeners that this Advent season brings you optimism and not more cynicism. There's lots of reasons to get cynical right now, and I feel it and I live it and I own it. But may we also learn to be light in the darkness, because I know as I go by houses with lights on and I see, and there's just something in me that lights up every time I see Christmas lights and just these little things. I know that everyone needs just a little more light in their life. And so may we be that to everyone that we encounter. So that's all I got. Pastor Becky, you got anything else? Any more announcements? Anything we need to say?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right, everyone. I want to thank you so much for listening. I want to encourage you to, again, share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we are still working and operating, and that we love you guys where you're at. We will meet again together soon enough. I can't wait. Pastor Becky and I just kind of briefly talked about some things this next summer when we can all be together again, maybe doing, monthly get-togethers outside at the green space or something. Just we need time back together, and we need to focus on that in this coming year, and we will get there. Hold on. Don't give up. The presence of Christ is with you. And we will see you on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock online, live.statestreet.tv. Have a great week, and